I want to teach you how to buy an altcoin correctly and safely. This one is interesting. So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new, subscribe, bell button, like, and please leave a comment, because it does actually help me flood out the scammers. So if you leave a comment and if you see a scamming thread, which is obvious, just put scam. I see it and I can react to it. It's weird how it works. I tend to see replies more than I see like actual live new comments, so bear with me. I want to talk about obviously this, what could be happening potentially in the future, bull runs, and people already asking questions, and I want to address the questions now. And this is this video dedicated to it. A lot of people ask the question, how do I buy X currency? Can I buy X currency in whatever, you know, we're going to go over that, okay? How to do it correctly, researching, how to find out what exchanges to use, and what blockchain is it on, and how to store it safely. We're going to go over that, right? Real good stuff that is vitally important, because a lot of people lose money in a bull market. This is going to create a lot of money losing. It is. It's just one of those things, and I'll explain why. PayPal going live in the US. It's going to be working under a special license, allowing it to be physical Bitcoin too. Important. So it's going to create interest in the market, and this is going to bring interest to people talking and shilling coins. Don't fall victim, please. You know, I get a lot of good reputation for trying to be realistic here, but ultimately there will be other people, influencers, YouTubers, whatever, telling you to buy now! Exclamation mark, millions, fuck off, right? So let's talk about it, because this is vitally important in my opinion, right? You are new to the space, maybe. You might be experienced to the space as well, and you may have a coin that you have no idea what to do with it in terms of holding, right? It might be something that's quite complicated to hold, or it might be, I can't be bothered to buy basically a ledger. I've got a few collection of ledgers. Only reason why is because the storage levels on this one is not as good as this one. Get this one, the X. Anyways, moving on. When you're buying a coin, the first thing you need to do, step number one, is ultimately go to CoinMarketCap before you do anything, or CoinGecko. You know, personal preference doesn't really matter in my opinion. Let's just say, for example, you are on YouTube and you've seen someone talk a lot about a certain coin. Now let's talk about, I want to do VeChain, because it's a bit more complicated, VeChain. Right. Back in the day, a lot of coins, and even today, they were ERC20 tokens, Ethereum-based tokens. So it's very easy to store them. So the likes of EOS, Tron, VeChain, as examples, were, you know, Ethereum-based. They then migrated to a mainnet of their own, allowing them to store their own coins on their own chain. You need separate individual wallets for them. You cannot just put an Ethereum wallet anymore. You need to know this information. But that's just kind of going into the future. We'll go over that in more detail in a second. But VeChain is more complicated, because you may want to buy it and you may not be able to buy it, or you may not be able to store it because you don't have the right facilities to do so. So we're going to talk about it because it's vitally important in my opinion. You imagine this, you've just found VeChain, you're like, oh, I like this. How do you know if it's any good? You need to fundamentally do some research. The best thing about CoinMarketCap to anyone here, instead of just going on YouTube and go VeChain, you need to go onto their website, you need to read all the technical documentation, you need to read and find out and discover what it is. Ultimately, look at the supplies, look at how much volume it's got, look at what exchanges it's on. You may find a coin that no one's heard of. It's a pile of poo. It's a scam. You don't know who the team is. They have no visible partners or verified partners, and it is probably a rug pull. People buy those because people tell them to do it. Don't do that. You need to do your own research. So you need to go to obviously their website. Once you go onto their website, it will tell you everything you need to know. They've got the white paper straight in front of you. You've got videos there. You've got all kinds of information in terms of how it all works, their news, how the simplicity of it is, the governance model, the economic model, The team, or actually, that's a committee. Then you've got the advisory board, and then I think one of the other pages you've got the team. And when you scroll down all the way to the bottom here, you've got the official wallets, the blockchain, and third-party wallets. The information on the website will tell you specifically how to hold a cryptocurrency. Now, VeChain is its own chain. Cool. It also has its own wallet. You've got the VeChain 4, you've got Sync, And then you can add your own token supply to it as well. There's also other ones as well. You got Exodus, obviously one of the main ones. Trust, one of the main ones, and then all the other ones. Atomic Wallet gets shilled quite a lot. But the one that I use is Sync. If you go to this, you then download the application on your computer, whether it's Windows or Mac, and I store mine in their wallet. How it works is, it is literally stored, right, in this. So these are encryptions. This is a private key encryption, which allows me to sync to any wallet. They're not held on here. It's just giving me a password. That's basically a passkey to get into any of these blockchains. So whether it's Zilliqa, whether it's Polkadot, whether it's, I don't know, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, it gives me access to that blockchain of where I'm holding my tokens, right? So that's the harder part done. I've went to the hard part first because you need to know before you buy it, do you have the facility to store it safely? Now, you can store it on exchanges, but the problem lies with this. What exchange is it on? Now, going back a step, you understand the basics, you've done your research, you know it's on its own chain, you know they've got suitable wallets that you can physically go and hold it if you want to. Now the next step is, I want to buy this. I want to physically buy this. Now, when you go onto CoinMarketCap again, go to market pairs. It will tell you exactly. It also gives you a quick run through. If you're lazy and you want to know roughly what it is before you really jump in and go deep dive in, you can find out the information here, which is really good. Now, when you go and scroll down, where the fuck? Oh, there it is. It's all the way up here now. So ultimately at the bottom, it'll tell you where the biggest ones are. Now, you've got Binance, okay. You got Crypto.com, you got Huobi, and now I'm just picking the big ones here. There's some that are shite, and I will be honest with you. You need to do your research, and this is why I said I did that hard bit first. You need to do your research in terms of what exchanges are what. You may not want to buy a coin on a certain exchange because it's been known to steal coins. It happens. This is cryptocurrency. Get used to it. The likes of Binance is probably the most, as dodgy as it sounds, probably one of the more trusted ones because it doesn't do that. But ultimately, there is some on here that have got warning flags on them because of certain problems. BitMEX, for example, here has been down for a few days because of server issues. You got to look at them. You've got to look at like liquidity. How much trust do they have? Have you heard of them? What sort of information do they have on the internet about them? Reviews. You got to look because the lower down you go, the more random you're going to get, and you will guarantee it. Get some dodgy ass exchange that I've got. Look at it, no volume, $3 on that pair. Upbit, VeChain/BTC, $133. Pretty shocking, right? You've got to buy something with liquidity as well because you will get. By the way, just to let you know, do not be that person that goes and buys a coin because it's much more, different in price. It's a lot cheaper somewhere else. It's probably because there's no liquidity. Okay, just be careful. Other things to mention, obviously I've mentioned all this kind of stuff in terms of like how to do certain things. It's vitally important you physically understand what you're buying. Now, I know it sounds easy, but the process is simple. You need to understand the coin. You need to see, is it legible for you to actually physically buy it safely and store it safely? And most importantly, can you buy it in your country? Can you really buy it? Now, going back a little bit of a step here, as I said, exchanges are vitally important. Go to exchanges and go to spot here. You can find out who is what exchange. Now, a lot of people, I understand this, are very, very new to the space and they only have ever used Coinbase because it's easy. But ultimately, if you want to get the better returns of more newer coins before they've really hit the bigger exchanges, you need to do a bit of a deep dive and find stuff lower down. This is where you find the more riskier holds because they are on lesser known exchanges with lesser volume and they've not hit mainstream kind of attention yet. For example, look at RSR as a great example here, and I'll explain this in a second. But before we go on to that, you've got on here all of your exchanges that you can look at. You can see ultimately web factor, average liquidity and number of markets that they have. Right? Be careful though, because some of these are inflated numbers, but you also see launch dates. The more older, technically, more liquid the exchanges, the better it is. But obviously each country is different. But going back a step in terms of what I mentioned there with RSR, the reason being, RSR is relatively known now, okay? But give it 6 months in terms of prior data, it wasn't. When you look at in terms of this, it's obviously got listed on a number of exchanges. If you go back onto YouTube and look at videos from maybe April, May, it was only on about 3 or 4 exchanges. It's now on Binance, it's now on OKX, it's now on like obviously other bigger exchanges. But it's still not on some of the big ones. It's still not on some of the more known ones, and it's not got as much liquidity. It's not on Coinbase, for example. You know, just to give you an insight there. There's a few on here that it's kind of is missing, but it has been pumped due to that. So just be careful in terms of when to buy as well. So overall, I hope this video has kind of helped you in terms of, you know, simple lines of what to do. So just to run through it again, if you're unknown, you must do your research. If you click on any coin, you can go directly to their website. You know, you can find out on their Explorer what they are. This is an Ethereum based one. It's very, very simple to find out. How to find that out is you just go to the Explorer and it'll tell you. If anything leads you to Etherscan, it's an Ethereum based token. You can put it on my Ether wallet or my crypto, or even on Ledger Live if it works off Ledger, and you can find out how it works. Now, I'm going to go up a step a minute in a second just to show you, but again, all the information is there, happy days. But like I say, if you go to markets, you will find exactly at this top bit here, when it loads, hello, where to buy it. Now, I mentioned Ledger quite a lot, okay? Now, the reason why I mention Ledger is because I like to use them. They're my favorite. If you go on Ledger, it will tell you exactly the prices. Ultimately, it will tell you how to store them. Now, the beautiful thing with this is it's got guides. You know, if you search an asset, so let's say, for example, Chainlink, right? I know that it's on Ledger Live, and I can also put it on other supported wallets. The beautiful thing with this is you can encrypt most cryptos, not all, most of them, and it'll tell you how to do it. It'll also tell you exactly how to do it physically. So how to manage Chainlink with Ledger devices, and it'll go to a support one. How to manage ERC20 tokens, instructional video, how to do it. Now that is just ERC20. If I go back a step though, and we'll go to a random asset that is not on Ledger Live, for example. So let's just have a little look. Actually, let's just go down. If you go down here, it'll tell you not supported by Ledger Live, but you can hold it on Binance or Magnum wallet, okay? Ultimately, you got other ones here. EOS, this is a Fairy wallet. That's how they store it. Monero, GUI, it tells you exactly what you need to do. So Ledger is a really good website in terms of doing this. Again, even if you look at this one, it'll tell you how to manage it, and it'll tell you how to do it officially. Install the app, do this, do that, do this, cool, happy days. But it is all encrypted with this. So you can use this as the wallet. Give you an example on Zilliqa. Zilliqa is called Zillit. So the one that I use is Zillit. So how does this work? It can hook up directly to your Ledger, your Moonlight, your Google, and all kinds of good stuff. It will tell you exactly what you need to do. It just creates a separate wallet, and it uses this to get me in. Pure safe storage. So there you go. Hope you enjoy. Please do leave a like. Thumbs up always helps, and most importantly, leave comments. Get rid of these scammers, and yeah, I'll see you again very, very soon.